our interview by telling me how you started painting.
Oh my God. Well, whenever I had a cold or something, my mother always gave me papers and crayons and things like that. And that's what I did. Just made.
I know in this one article it was saying that she used to give you...
Yeah, from the shredded wheat box, the separation, do you know those boxes? There's a certain size. They come like this, and they're only this wide. And they have paper in between each little cookie. Right. 3 cookies, I think, are lay in there, and then they have them. I must have used my hands too much because otherwise I'll get in trouble. But you're not taking a picture yet.
No.
No.
I mean, well, not while I'm doing a lot of talking.
A lot of these questions are questions that we've done before, but it's sort of warming you up and getting you going. And,
but is my name Ginsburg? Ginsburg is on, right? You know, is on being interrogated, I think you call it, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that poor woman.
That's what I mean, Ginsburg.
I know.
I felt so sorry for her yesterday. They asked her all these questions.
She's pretty cool, though.
You bet. She better be.
Yeah. But they say there's no way they're going to be able to. She's got a clean background.
Yeah.
Now, Rosa, could you talk about the classes that you've done with Nancy Johnson?
Oh, I never painted with her. I never painted with her. I went there, but when the critique time came, I stopped and had lunch like everybody else, and I went up there. And believe me, she knew that I made 2 pictures, and I come along with 1. And then she says, "Where is the other one?" And I said, "How do you know?" You know. She says, "I saw." That was one time when the fog came in. She saw when I made the sunny one first, and then the fog came in, and she knew that I never budged from my chair. So I only went up there with the sunny one, and I had to go all the way down the sand pit. You know, there used to be. She'd sit further down where the entrance to the beach, and then I was up on the hill, and I had to go up there and then come down again. Well, anyway. She said, "You have another one there. You made it in the fog." I said, "Yeah." Am I being taken?
Yes. We're rolling.
Yeah, I think we're rolling now. Okay.
Is it going to be a movie picture or what?
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be part.
Oh, is that kind of an interview? Oh, God. No.
You look wonderful.
Oh, I'm no good at that.
Oh, you're doing a wonderful job.
So I understand that Nancy really wanted you to stay in the class because you were so good, and that it allowed the other...
Well, she used my pictures there as a demonstration in a way to show them. Well, here's the thing. You see, they were girls I have to be careful what I say. Oh, my dear, I just wanted to say something. That they never wanted to go back to the place twice. You see? And this time she wanted to show that, look, she never budged from the chair, and yet she did a sunny picture and a fog picture.
I remember you telling me that you were thinking about not coming to the classroom. What did she say to you?
And she said, "Over my dead body."
Now, you told a wonderful story about your paintings that you did of the Mission Ranch. Can you tell us that story? About these paintings that you did of the Mission Ranch?
You mean when I sent them?
Right.
This was in '87 when he was mayor, you know, of Carmel. And I was kind of cleaning out my closet, and I said, "Gee, I have all these pictures here." And I moved from, I had 2 rooms like this room, and they're right next door. And I moved into here. Then naturally, where am I going to put the pictures? So I clean out. Even the Historical Society has 4 of my pictures, which are lovely. the little building down there, you know, in the valley. And so then I finally, oh dear, now you know that made me so conscious. I mean, could you shut that thing off?
Yes.
Inspired, you know, and a lot of this interview, we're only going to be using a little bit of it.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so
I mean,
it's going to be
not
really...
idea.
But no, it's very okay for you to just be spontaneous with your interview because, as I say, we will edit all that out. And
Well, did everybody do this?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yes, because what happens is once you get to talking to me, you're going to forget about the camera.
Yes.
And you're going to get natural and you're going to start us over just...
But they never want to take one and see. Go back to the same place, the same, you know, a second time. And Nancy and I used to have the phone calls. Is this going, this machine? Oh.
So you just go ahead and tell the story.
And we used to talk about this. But no, I wanted to tell you about Clint's, the pictures.
Right.
In '87, I decided to clean out, and I saw these 4 pictures, and I said, gee whiz, I think I'll call up the city hall and find out whether they like those pictures to put down in that little house that he had, the place he bought. So anyway, I went ahead and now you see, now I'm thinking again. So I called up the office. He was not there because he was in Hollywood, and the secretary came up. She called for him. So she said, well, he'll just love these to death. She said, you just love it. He loves anything like that. And so that was it. And I got a very nice letter from him. And that was all. And I never met him until we met out here when he gave me those prints.
But you had read an article about
Yeah, in the paper that the Sun had printed, and a beautiful article in there about the whole thing. And toward the end, Clint mentions a woman by the name of Rosa Loesch. Gave him four painting watercolors, and he is having prints made of them. Well, when I read that, I called up Isabel. I didn't know it was Isabel. You see, I just called up the Sun. And I said, would you please tell me, is it possible to get prints from the watercolors? And she says, are you Rosa Loesch? And I said, yes. So she says, well, you hang in there and I'll find out. And my dear, he wanted to come. She said, I'll come for them. And he said, no, I want to do it personally. So he couldn't come all then. Well, he was cute about that.
And what did he present to you?
The 4 pictures, the prints framed.
But when you first saw them,
I thought they were real, that they were my own work. And the reason was because the printer in Hollywood put them on watercolor paper. That's why. There was this watercolor paper.
So at first you said to Clint that...
Oh, yes. I said, this is my work. I said, this is my... He said, lady, I have your originals. I don't know where he had them, but anyway, he said, I have your originals. These are the prints.
And he presented them in frames for you.
Yes.
Which was...
I mean, it was a delight. And, I thanked him for them. And then, of course, he hugged me, when he came. He hugged me. He said, no, I want to do it personally, he said to Isabel. So then Isabel said, would you like to come in and see her studio? So he comes in, and he sees that she pulls out the table. She knew where it was. She pulls it out, and he said, that's your studio? He was a doll. He was really. And he knew people that I knew. He played golf with Lowell Weicker. He knew the governor up there. And I knew Lowell Weicker when he was 9 years old. And he's only 6'5", the Lowell Weicker. And that's how the subject came, because I asked Clint how tall he was. He says, 6'4". I said, oh. I says, I know somebody 6'5". He says, you do? You know, you do? Here? I said, yeah. Well, that's Lower Microphone in Connecticut. He says, the governor? He says, yeah, I played tennis or golf or something with him up there. When he was, the mayor. And he happens to know my son. He knows Kurt.
Oh, really? How?
Yeah.
How did you know?
From the playing golf.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you got a lot of publicity when he came to visit you, so there were a lot of rumors going around.
It's a funny thing. I'm not going to say this because this is too funny.
Oh, you have to say it for us.
Please, please.
Well, I know, but you could cut it out.
Oh, sure.
I mean, some of these gals think that I'm hanging out with the movies, but so they're really kind of avoiding me because they think that I'm different, and I'm not. I don't know any in the movies.
Oh dear.
But it's cute.
Marie?
Yeah. Now, he has a lot of movies out there. Have you seen any of them?
No, I won't tell you this.
Oh, please, please.
Shut it off, Paul.
No, this is too good a story, Rosa. You have to tell it.
I haven't told. I never saw one of movies. You mean of Clint?
Uh-huh.
I haven't seen one. So I could never say I was a fan.
Right.
No, you're not going to put that in.
Well, you're just such an honorable woman. You know how many people would probably say you make great movies and they hadn't even seen one. But that's pretty wonderful. I mean, maybe one of these days, Paul and I will kidnap you and we'll take you to the new one that's out there now. There's a new one.
Would you like to go to the movies with us someday? We'll take it.
No, thanks. No.
So you have no desire to go out there, huh?
No, really not. It's funny. And this picture that's there, that was brought over, that's, what is it? A picture in one of the business magazine, and it was in there. Now, it wasn't a cover, it was inside, it was a separate picture. And she brought it over to me, and she said, maybe you think you'd like that. And I said, my God, where am I going to hang that big black thing, and framed and everything. So I thought about it, and I stuck it on the thing.
Oh, you stuck it?
It's the best place. Sees everything.
Rosa, what is art?
Oh, I think art is something within yourself. There are some people who keep telling you they can't make a straight line. Well, who cares about a straight line? Making a straight line. Yeah. It's not necessary to be able to make a straight line. But no, the art is, I think, within. So many people try to paint and it just won't work. Or, it's just not there.
How is it for you when you're doing your art?
Oh, I forget myself. And when I used to work outdoors, I felt so guilty because the newspapers were so terrible and everybody was killing each other and I was having such a good time. I felt guilty. It's a feeling that you're enjoying yourself so much.
So if people refer to you, do you like to be referred to as a watercolorist or as a painter?
Or just a painter, an artist, or anything, yes.
So there's no real...
No.
Because I know at one time you said that you were with your husband and you're admiring this exhibit of watercolors.
Yes.
What, in that moment, you decided you wanted to work in watercolor. What was it that made you decide?
Do you know that I started the watercolor in 47? And in 48, I had a one-man show. at the Argent Galleries in New York on 57th Street. I have the what do you call it, the
News article.
the little brochures, you know, the different shows, and sold half the pictures that time in that show. Even somebody was there from Switzerland, they bought a picture. I mean, half the pictures are gone. Gone. I have nothing from that show anymore.
So you have pieces of art that are all over, and you
Yes,
really don't have any
yes.
idea where they are.
Uh-huh.
I know I asked you this before, but I'd like to hear what you have to say about, if I were a young person, I came to you and I said, you know, Rosa, I really want to be an artist. I've always thought that would be a wonderful life, but my parents said that I'm crazy. What would you say to me?
You try what you want, what you feel you'd like to do.
Well, what if they say, look, you know, you're crazy, and we're going to divorce you from this family, and you're not going to be received by us, and whatever monies we had planned for you?
Don't let them do that. Don't let them do that to you. You said, let me try whether I can or not.
And they say, no, you can't do this.
I don't know what I do. Because my parents, they just let me do it. Because I did all kind of things, you know, what you're doing in school, you know, life drawing. I mean, I had a ream of papers before I moved in here. When I left Carmel, you should see me tear them up. I just tore them up. I only have a spattering left, just a spattering.
Why did you tear your work up?
I didn't want to bring all those nudes in here, you know, because most of them were, say, 15-minute sketches, 30-minute sketches, you know, things like that. And they were marvelous. I mean, they would be able to do them like that. And so that's why I tore them up.
Now I know that
I just didn't want to bring them all in here.
Now I know that you're quite a perfectionist, and that you used to tear up a lot of your work.
Oh yes, I'd say it's only a piece of paper.
And then your friends got together and they said,
Yeah, and then you know I had a pile of these pictures hanging around, and my friends would, like Alicia, she was one. She came and she said, "What's this bunch of pictures for?" I said, "I'm throwing them out." And so she says, "Can I look?" So she looked. She just took one home and just hang it up in the living room, you know. I did the same thing with her, but I didn't hang anything up. I have it in the closet, but I didn't hang it up.
But since then, now you don't throw away. You just crop them. Is that?
No, I have nothing. I have no paintings anymore.
Oh. But you don't do that with your watercolors. You don't throw them out.
The watercolors, yes, they're the ones I got rid of. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Fine print on the bottom of the card.
Oh yeah, Rosa. Can you? I know you told us this before, but for the camera, how old are you?
97.
97. And to what do you attribute your longevity to?
Oh, that's a very. I am not going to tell you this whole thing. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's. I don't argue. I'm not an argumentative person. I can't argue. I don't know how. And maybe, and I'm quiet. And I don't care for crowds.
But you know, you say that one of the things you like about your art is that it gets you away from all. From all the problems of the world?
Yes, well, that's what it does.
So do you think that maybe your art...
I have an idea, because I've done look, for 5.5 months I sat in Paris on the street. Imagine me living right on the street and doing this size picture that you see there. This size, right on my lap.
This one right there.
Yes. And the reason why I never sold that picture was because Well, the thing was, when I started to sit down on my little tri-legged stool, you know, it has a triangular seat, and there's 3 legs, and then you sit very close to the sidewalk in that thing. And there was a pair of shoes standing right next to me from the time I started to work. And he was there the whole time. And the whole time I had no idea that there was a mob of people standing in back of me. I never heard a thing. Nobody talks. And in Paris, they revere the artist. You see, they revere the artist in Paris. The Frenchmen especially. And then when I thought to myself, well, now I'm finished, I just threw it down on my bag, and as I did the throwing, these shoes came around front, and picked up the painting and just gave it to me and said, oh, c'est madame, c'est très joli, and he was talking French to me. And I said, merci, monsieur, merci. So, anyway, as I say, he's reverently stated, so I take the painting, and he kisses my hand. And the people all clapped. I didn't even know there were people back there. There they were clapping. And that's why I never wanted to get rid of that painting, was because, and you know, when my husband came home, he'd had work there to do. When my husband came back to the hotel, he said, well, what's cooking today? What cooked today? Because I had always a story every day. I had a new story. I said, look. And he says, well, what's with the hand? I said, it was kissed by a Frenchman. One of the 50 million Frenchmen kissed me here. He says, don't wash it. Don't wash it off. That's my husband.
That's a sweet story.
And he didn't mind that if somebody came to that room, our hotel room, we had a regular suite, you know, where we had the sitting room and no kitchen, of course, no kitchen. And we had company. And we took them upstairs after we had the dinner downstairs. We took them upstairs. And my dear, my husband sees the painting I did that day. He had never seen it before. He sees it standing there, and he says, honey, this is a new picture. I said, yes. And this woman, friend, said, oh, I know which bridge that is. And she gave the name of the bridge, see? And the steps. I have a slide of that picture, which I'm happy about. The reason why I have a slide. He up and gives her the painting without saying, honey, we'll give this to so-and-so, you know. We'll give that to her. Not a word. And she is so thrilled with this picture. And after they left the room, she left the room, I didn't say anything, but he came to me and he says, honey, now you go down tomorrow morning, the first thing, and paint it again. And that's how I have my second one, see? I wasn't going to miss that one, because that was one of my favorites. Turned out to be my favorites.
That's wonderful.
And when I came back from Paris, actually in the gallery at the what they call the Grand Central Art Gallery, that was above this Grand Central Station on the 6th floor was a gallery, and now it's I think it's a Pan American building there, and so they missed me because they hadn't seen me for 5.5 months. I said, my God, where were you? So I told them where I was. Well, bring in some sketches. I said, nothing doing. These are all important people in here. I'm not going to be in here. Would it hurt? Would it hurt, really? I said, no. So he said, bring some in the next time you come. So my husband said, you go down there with those sketches and you show them. And do you know they called me to Long Island? They called me on Long Island so as to get more pictures. Would you bring in some more when you come? Well, I certainly have put it in. And then some more, and some more. I had 88 sketches, but I didn't bring them all in. But I had 88 of them. Can you imagine that? And they had a place, not in the hall. They had a very wide hallway, and they hung them on both sides. I didn't have to get glass or frame or nothing. They had the glass, no frames around, but just the mats. And they're gone.
They're all gone.
Everything gone.
Except your favorite.
And this one here I had for years in Carmel. And finally I gave it to my friend, who was one of the girls. But she doesn't paint anymore. I'm sorry about that. She doesn't paint. So the other day I called her up and I said, you know, I think I'd like to show off with that painting that you have from Paris. I said, you know, I don't have another one. And she says, I know. So she says, am I getting it back? I said, oh, yes, you are. So when she brought it, she said, where are you going to put this? And I said, right over there. So she took the other one off and put this one back. Now she said, are you sure I'm getting this back? Isn't that something?
That's great, Rosa. Here, I'll let you have some water.